Let's get some reaction right now from Capitol Hill. Joining us now, Democratic Congressman Jared Moskowitz of Florida. He's a key member of the House Foreign Affairs Committee. Congressman, thanks so much once again for joining us. So what do you think? What do you think a limited response from Israel should mean?
Well, thanks, Wolf. Thanks for having me. Well, I think what that means is that Israel is doing what the world has asked and is not trying to escalate the situation. Make no mistake about it, they have every right to. I mean, you're talking Iran sending 130 ballistic missiles over to Israel. Remember, ballistic missiles could carry a nuclear payload if Iran were ever able to get a nuclear weapon. But I think what Israel is doing, working with their partners, and you saw really a historic effort working with their Arab neighbors, the United States, France, the UK, to repel Iran's major attack. Israel has a right to respond. They should respond, and they should do so swiftly. But obviously, we want to make sure that this does not turn into a regional issue.
Yeah, that's an important point. The House Speaker Johnson says that new foreign aid will now be broken into 4 separate parts. That means aid for Ukraine will now be separated, Congressman, from aid to Israel. Would you support, for example, an Israel-only aid bill?
Well, look, if at the end of the day this is about process and not policy, I mean, I think it's a distinction without a difference. Obviously, it would be nice and neater and faster if we could take the Senate bill, which has been languishing for months now, and get that on the floor, pass it, and send it to President Biden, who will sign it, so that we can help our allies in need, both Ukraine and Israel, you know, one from Putin and Russia, the other from Iran, who, by the way, are linked at the hip. But if they want to split it up and do separate votes, but the policy is the same, it's basically the Senate bill, just, you know, separated by 2 or 3 votes. I'm happy to do that if that's what it takes to get it out of this body.
And another very sensitive subject that is emerging right now. I know you just told our chief congressional correspondent, Manu Raju, that you will vote to save the House Speaker, Mike Johnson, if he faces removal. Why the difference between how you and your Democratic colleagues handled Kevin McCarthy?
Well, first of all, it's like Groundhog Day here, Wolf. I feel like we're at the scene where, like, it's Bill Murray and the groundhog in the truck driving over the cliff. I mean, we've seen this show before. What's the difference? The difference is the world has changed, right? The Kevin vote happened before October 7th, right? The Kevin vote happened before Ukraine really needed our help against Putin. So the world has completely changed. And that's number one. Number two is that I don't know Speaker Johnson well. Our politics and policy belief are completely different. But there is no way I'm going to let Marjorie Taylor Greene, who wants to secede from the Union, take over the House. There's no way I'm going to let Thomas Massie, who has never voted to help any of our allies, he would let the Ayatollah go right into Israel. He'd let Putin take all of Europe. There is no way I'm going to side with these people, stand by while they let the world burn. I mean, Marjorie Taylor Greene would invite Putin to give a joint session of Congress speech. I mean, Thomas Massie, literally, if the Capitol was on fire, he'd get more gasoline. So these are not just chaos people. These are people who want to break the world order and side with our enemies. And so, look, Democrats will have a choice. Obviously, I defer to Hakeem Jeffries and our leader. He knows what the best course of action is, and so we'll all wait as they work that out. But Democrats will have a choice. Let them light this on fire and watch it burn, or to get a bucket of water and throw it. And that's what I plan on doing.
So right now, what's your assessment, Congressman? Will the House Speaker Johnson survive this effort by these Republicans, Marjorie Taylor Greene, Thomas Massie, Republicans, to try to oust him?
Well, remember, the vote that will come is they'll make some motion to vacate, perhaps, okay, and then there'll be a motion to table. So we'll never get to the motion to vacate. It'll be tabling the motion, so that means we don't ever talk about it, we don't ever discuss it, it goes away. I think that would likely pass, so long as Speaker Johnson continues to deliver on what he said, which is basically to bring the Senate bill on policy divided up into votes. I just don't see Democrats. Look, we've been in chaos here in the 118th Congress. Republicans have played politics with our allies, which has emboldened our enemies. The idea that Democrats are going to let them do that, I just can't see that happening, Wolf.
Very quickly, a final question before I let you go, Congressman. The Ukrainian President, Volodymyr Zelensky, is now drawing a contrast with how the United States and other NATO allies have responded to Iran's attacks on Israel over the weekend versus the support his country, Ukraine, is receiving, hinting at a double standard that's underway. How do you respond to that?
He's not wrong. I mean, you heard it from Chairman Turner, the chairman of the Intelligence Committee, come out and say he hears Russian propaganda from his own Republican colleagues, right? And don't get me wrong, that's what Marjorie Taylor Greene and Thomas Massie are trying to do here, right? They're trying to do Putin's bidding. Not necessarily directly, but indirectly. That's who this would help. I mean, if Speaker Johnson goes, we will not help Ukraine, we will not help Israel, okay, and the House will be forever broken on trying to make sure that we can still keep world order. China will be more powerful, Russia will be more powerful, and every country in the world will start looking to China and Russia as more reliable allies than the United States. And so, look, this is a pivotal moment. I was happy to hear that the Speaker says he's not resigning. Good. He should have resolve, and he should fight these chaos agents within his party, and we should come together as Americans and do what we've always done, is be the leader in the world. This is that moment, Wolf. We got to stand up.
Yeah, very strong words. Congressman Jared Moskowitz of Florida, thank you very much.